What's good, my people? Welcome back to EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo. I'm back with another one. How's everyone doing, man? I hope you had a fantastic weekend, man. Do you know what I mean? Listen, before I get into this card that's just been announced by Frank Warren, overall, decent card. Do you know what I mean? It's a decent card. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm mad excited about it. Like, I'm like, yo, this is the best card ever. Nah. Listen, it's a decent card. British fighters on there. It's going to be in the UK. It's nice, isn't it? A lot of people are going to go out and watch it. Do you know what I mean? It's a decent card, but I'm not excited about the fighters on there. Do you know what I mean? But before we get into that, I just want to give a big shout out to Top Tier Boxing. And the promoter, I believe, is called Danny Clark. I was there on Sunday. I went to their Flawless event. I have to say it was absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Great boxing event, local boxing show, and I loved it. It was fantastic. All the fights were great. I'm not going to lie. All the fights were great. My friend Zach Fee was fighting on the card and he prevailed. He won his fight. So I was gassed. I was really happy for him. He's now 6-0 and he moves on to better and bigger things. Do you know what I mean? But normally when I go to these shows, like these small town hall shows, whatever you want to call it, I normally, after my guy fights, I'm not going to lie, I normally leave. Like, I might watch one more fight and leave, but this time I stayed for the whole night. Do you know what I mean? I actually watched all the fights, all the way to the main event, and it was a fantastic card. You know what I mean? Big up to Danny Clark, Top Tier Boxing. Do you know what I mean? And there's a fighter there that I actually want you to watch out for. He was the main event, Tom Welland. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Tom Welland, what a fighter. Listen, that kid is going to go places, man. He's going to go far. Absolutely flawless performance, man. He got the stoppage in the end and he was fantastic. His reflexes, boxing IQ for a young guy like that. Listen, the kid's going places, you know what I mean? So big up to Tom Welland and Top Tier Boxing and the promoter, what's his name? Danny Clark, man. Do you know what I mean? Keep doing that. Keep doing that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to say to you guys. Support your local events, support your local boxing shows because they're putting on fights. They're supporting these fighters, up and coming fighters. Do you know what I mean? And without them, trust me, you're never going to get the Anthony Joshua. You're never going to get some of the big fighters that you know today that you watch in real season cards. You're never going to get them if it's not for the small town hall fights. Do you know what I mean? So go out there, go support them. And what was I going to say? I also saw, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn was actually at the event as well. Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to him because he was kind of like mad busy around him. Like, I actually wanted to go ask him a few questions. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on between Anthony Joshua, Martin Barcoli? That's what I wanted to ask him. But listen, it was frenzy. Like, he was taking pictures with the ring girls. He done an interview. The guy was busy. I couldn't get to him. Do you know what I mean? And that was the first time I've ever seen Eddie Hearn in person. So I really wanted to ask him a few questions, but it wasn't to be this time. Do you know what I mean? Hey, I'll get him next time. I'll get him next time. He's nothing. He's minor. But anyways, listen, before we get into this Frank Warren card that's going to be on the 5th of April, you know what to do, man. If you want to support the channel, drop a like, drop a comment. Do you know what I mean? Anything I talk about in this video, if you don't agree with it or you agree, whatever. Do you know what I mean? If you want to say a word, drop in the comments. Let's have that conversation. I love having that interaction with my viewers. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I just love it. I love it. Do you know what I mean? And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe because that's the only way you're going to help the channel to grow. Now, 91% of the viewers who watch my videos are not subscribed. Do you know what I mean? Like that's terrible. Please, guys. If you're watching the video, you like the content, do you know what I mean? You want me to continue doing this, subscribe to the channel so you can get more boxing content from me. And also you're supporting us, man. We're a small channel. We're growing. Do you know what I mean? You subscribing, you liking, you commenting, you're only helping to grow the channel. But anyways, let's get into this card announced by Frank Warren. I was actually at work. I was driving. I was going to my next destination. And Frank Warren was, he came on to a very popular UK sports radio station. And they were asking him questions, and that's where he dropped the card. You know what I mean? He dropped that card that's going to happen on the 5th of April. It's got Joyce versus Dillian Whyte. And also it's got Richard Riakpo versus Lawrence Okoli. My opinion on that card, oh man, listen, Dillian Whyte, Joyce, these two guys are washed. Let's be real, man. Let's be real. Listen, I respect every boxer out there. I respect the work. I respect the grind they put in and everything like that. But Dillian Whyte, Joyce, there's nothing to gain from this fight. Let's be real. Neither fight are going to get a title opportunity anytime soon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those fights where there's no one else for them to fight and front one for. You know what? You two just have a scrap. British domestic scrap. That's all it is. That's all it is. Do you know what I mean? Both guys, I don't see them cracking anyone in that top 10 in the heavyweight division. Do you know what I mean? Do you? Like, who? You tell me in the comments who Joyce, Dillian Whyte, who they can beat in the top 10 in the heavyweights. I just don't see anybody, to be real. I'm going to be honest. I don't see them beating anybody. I think they're both washed. And the loser in this fight, I think it's bye-bye, man. It's good night, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, Dillian Whyte didn't look good against Tete in the last fight. He looked terrible. And Joyce, we already saw what Derek Chisora did to him. Do you know what I mean? And no disrespect to Del Boy. I think Del Boy had a fantastic performance on Saturday against Otto Welland. Dropping him twice, he won that fight comfortably. Even with a cut above his eye, he won that fight comfortably. But listen, let's be real. Del Boy, Derek Chisora is not a world beater. Do you know what I mean? The fact that Joyce lost to him, and before that he got knocked out by Gilles Zhang as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and Joyce has never been the most skilled boxer. Do you know what I mean? He's just had the heart, a great chin, and an engine. And it seems like all of them attributes have left him. Because he's not a skillful boxer, because he relied on his engine, he relied on his great chin, do you know what I mean? And all of that is gone. There's nothing left for him, man. Do you know what I mean? And Dillian Whyte, don't let me get started on Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, whenever I see this guy in interviews or I just watch him, he's always complaining about something. He's always F him, F that, mate. The guy seems so entitled, bro. Like, yo, it's nobody's fault what's happened to your career, bro. It's your own fault. Dillian Whyte, you have to blame yourself. No one owes you anything. No one owes you no favors. Mate, stop being entitled, man. Do you know what I mean? You want the Joshua fight? You want, bro, you want to fight the whole world, but you ain't done nothing to earn it. You ain't done nothing to earn it. And your last performance against Tete, you look terrible. And Tete is not even, like, come on, don't. Tete ain't even that guy. And you look terrible. Do you know what I mean? So, Dillian Whyte, stop complaining, man. You're 36 years of age. You're not going to get a title fight. You go Joyce. And listen, how much she predicting Joyce to beat Dillian Whyte, man? I think Joyce is going to beat him. Nah, I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I don't think at this stage, I don't think like Joyce has got that power anymore. Do you know, I don't see him knocking out Dillian Whyte, but I can see Joyce outworking him. Do you know what I mean? Dillian Whyte looked terrible in the last fight. And Joyce is going to have better cardio. He's going to have the better fitness. You know what I mean? He's got better discipline than Dillian Whyte. And I can just see him winning a decision. A comfortable decision as well. You know what I mean? Because Dillian Whyte has just been giving it a quack for so long. It's actually annoying. Do you know what I mean? And these two guys, like, for me personally, they should both retire. I'm going to be real. They should both retire because they're having needless fights. Like, this fight is not an eliminator. It's not a mandatory challenge. It's nothing. It's what the Americans say. It's a nothing burger. Do you know what I mean? They're going to get decent amount of money. But I'm interested to find out, where does this result lead them to? Like, if Joyce wins, where does he go? If Dillian Whyte wins, where does he go? Who does he fight? Fabio Wardley? Oh my God, you get sparked out. You get sparked out. Do you know what I mean? So for these two fighters, win, lose or draw, I still feel like they've got a lot of thinking to do in terms of where they're positioned in their career right now and where they wanna go. Because if you're not challenging for world titles or mandatory positions, why are you really doing it for? Yes, I know you're gonna say, yo, Enzo, fighters are prize fighters, they're gonna fight for money. Yeah, but mate, you're gonna be taking damage. These guys are like mid to late. Well, Dillian Whyte is mid-30s. What's Joyce is late 30s. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. This fight, I'm not really particularly excited about it. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like both fighters are washed, they're done. And I feel like they should retire. But anyways, regardless, respect to them for getting in that ring and trying to prove themselves. And it's going to be an exciting fight. Do you know what I mean? I think there'll be a lot of fireworks. Dillian Whyte is going to come in there, try and take Joyce's head off. Joyce is just going to be sticking that jab out there and trying to outlast Dillian Whyte. Do you know what I mean? Trying like go for him in the second half of the fight once Dillian Whyte slows down, because we know Dillian Whyte, when it comes to discipline, he's terrible. He's got terrible discipline. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't look after himself outside, you know, outside of fight camp. Do you know what I mean? He's got terrible discipline. He's got fitness issues and stuff like that, I would say. And look at watching his last fight. Come on. I see Joyce winning that fight, but I'm not excited about it, to be honest. Let me know in the comments what you think of that main event, Dillian Whyte versus Joyce. The co-main, we got Lawrence Okolie versus Richard Riakpo. Yo, Lawrence Okolie, for someone who has such a big mouth, yeah, for someone who said, I want Usyk next, I want this. Mate, so you've come up to heavyweight. You had one heavyweight fight against some nobody. And now you're fighting Richard Riakpo, who's just coming up from cruiserweight. That's not really you proving yourself, is it, mate? Let's be real. That's not you proving yourself. Okolie. Do you know what I mean? And Richard Riakpo, Lawrence Okolie, these two guys, like, oh, mate, they're so frustrating. I find these guys so frustrating to watch, man. Lawrence Okolie, they're hugging. Terrible boxing technique, terrible boxing style. He's just terrible, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not even trying to be a hater or anything, but Lawrence Okolie is just not my cup of tea, man. Listen, respect to the guy. He's won a few titles, but he's annoying. He's frustrating to watch. And Richard Riakpo, after his performance against Dillian Smith, like, I don't know, man, with the guy, man. I don't know about Richard Riakpo. Like, he just wasn't letting his hands go. I was watching the fight when he fought Dillian Smith. The guy just couldn't let his hands go, even though Dillian Smith was standing right in front of him. And we already know Dillian Smith is not an elite boxer. Dillian Smith is a hard worker, grafter, who got an opportunity to win a title. He did it the hard way by just blood, sweat, and tears. But in terms of technique, in terms of boxing ability, Dillian Smith is not that guy. And he made Richard Riakpo look average. Richard Riakpo was in that ring. It looked like his feet were stuck in mud. He couldn't get a first gear. He didn't know what to do. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the weight that was messing him up. Now that's come up to heavyweight, he might be more comfortable at this weight. Might let more shots go. I don't know. But again, this is going to be one of those messy fights. I wouldn't expect any entertainment in this fight. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't expect any entertainment at all. I think it's going to be a hug fest. Both fighters are going to try and get in close and do all that. Ah, man, it's going to be terrible. But you know what? If I have to pick a winner early doors, I say Lawrence Okolie. I just say Lawrence Okolie because I just feel like in terms of boxing, he's got more experience, better ring IQ, and even though he's very frustrating to watch, I just feel like he's got too much know-how for Richard Riakpo. Richard Riakpo doesn't let his hands go enough for me, in my opinion, and I feel like Lawrence Okolie might even get a knockout. Do you know what I mean? As clumsy as Lawrence Okolie is, he might actually get a knockout over Richard Riakpo. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't feel like Richard Riakpo moves his head enough. He's going to be right there, man, standing right there, square on, and Lawrence Okolie is going to take him out. Do you know what I mean? But don't expect this fight to be exciting. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Frank Warren was bored. Do you know what I mean? For, you know what can I do to keep the British boxing fans busy? Do you know what I mean? What can I do just to fill up the calendar? All right. Dillian Whyte, Joyce, Lawrence Okolie, Richard Riakpo, you guys come here. Let's put a card together. I feel like that's what Frank Warren's done, because I'm going to be real, man. This card doesn't really excite me. You got David Adelaide, who got knocked out by Fabio Wardley, got beaten convincingly. He came back last time. He had a decent performance now. He's back. He's back on that card as well. Now he's okay. He's a bit exciting, so I'm looking forward to that fight. But the co-main and the main event, nah, man. Not for me, man. Let me know in the comments what you think, man. Let me know who you think is going to win at Dillian Whyte, Joyce, Richie Riagpo, Lawrence Okoli. Let me know in the comments. I'm not really too excited about that card, to be honest with you, but you might be. It's a great British card. A lot of all the British fighters on there. It's in the UK, part of the DAZN. Eddie, Frank Warren's first the DAZN card. Do you know what I mean? And big up Frank Warren, man. He's the main guy right now. Frank Warren's got all the main fighters in the UK in his stable, man. Just think about it. A couple years ago, Eddie Hearn couldn't do no wrong with Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn was the main guy, but Frank Warren, credit to the old fox. He stepped his game up, man. He's absolutely stepped his game up. And I'm just looking at the Queensbury promotion stable, yeah, the fighters that they have, and it's crazy. Like, Matchroom ain't got this stable. Like, I'll just read out some of the fighters for you. Obviously, Tyson Fury, he's retired, but he's still there. Like, I can see here on the website. His picture's still there. He's still under a Queensbury fighter. They got Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker, Gile Zhang, Fabio Wardley, Moses Saitoma, Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is with Frank Warren. I thought it was with David Hay. Oh, anyway, Derek Chisora is on there. Joyce, Lawrence Okoli himself, David Adelaide, Solomon Dekris. Who else they got there? That's a well-known name. Yeah, man, look at those names on there. You know what I mean? Denzel Bentley's on there. Yeah, man. Frank Warren, he's the main guy right now, man. He's the main guy with Turkey Al Sheikh Riyadh season. He's the main guy. Now he's moved to the DAZN. Eddie Hearn, step your game up, or you know what? Listen, you might just get left behind, mate. Do you know what I mean? And stop being buddy or friendly with Frank Warren. Listen, Frank Warren's got you in his back pocket, son. Do you know what I mean? The old fox is back. Damn. But listen, I'm going to leave it at that, man. Let me know what you think of this card on the 5th of April. Let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. I'm your boy Enzo. I'll see you soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed. Peace.